Raffaello Sanzio da Urbino, also known as Raphael, was born in 1483 in Urbino, Italy. He was the son of Italian painter Giovanni Santi. His father was able to get him a place in Pietro Perugino's workshop. From a very young age, Raphael knew that he would smoothly transition into a renowned and successful artist. Raphael moved to Florence at the age of 21 to learn from Florentine art. It is in Florence that Raphael found many of his patrons and acquired many of his famous commissions. Eventually, he became a favorite of the papal regime. Raphael never married, but is said to have had many lovers. Raphael died on April 6, 1520, at the young age of 37. He was buried in the famous Pantheon, and his funeral was well attended. He is now known as one of the three greatest masters of the High Renaissance, along with Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Pietro Perugino was a huge inspiration for Raphael. Raphael worked as an assistant for Perugino around 1500. Perugino was known for his frescoes and paintings. Raphael used Perugino's painting, The Delivery of the Keys to St. Peter, to inspire his work, The Marriage of the Virgin. Raphael's other influences were Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Albrecht Dürer from Germany. Raphael was first amazed by Leonardo da Vinci when he saw his works in Florence. Raphael had an impressive resume of many prestigious patrons. His only mythological work, Galatea, was painted for his patron Tiber Villa of Agostino Chigi. Some of his other patrons included the Sistine Chapel, in which he painted the Disputation of the Holy Sacrament, and Pope Julius II, for whom he painted a portrait in 1512. The School of Athens is a fresco that serves as a statement about pagan Greek philosophy and Christian Italian culture. It features all of the famous Greek figures, Plato, Aristotle, and Pythagoras, to name a few. Leonardo da Vinci is painted as Plato, Raphael is painted as Apelles, and Michelangelo is painted as Heraclitus. In the painting, they are all discussing math and science in separate groups. The round shape of the buildings brings your eyes to look at all of the people in the painting, and the different color tones and hues that Raphael uses highlight the important people in the painting. This fits into Raphael's time period because one of the main focuses in the painting is religion, which was a huge part of the Renaissance. The Marriage of the Virgin directly imitated an interpretation of the marriage between Mary and Joseph that Perugino had made years before. But Raphael's version has been referred to as the climax of a prodigious and chameleon-like integration of his master's style. Also, Raphael's version is more subtle and refined. The temple and the people are more detailed and proportionally accurate, and the space in Raphael's is more open than the space in Perugino's. The temple featured is distinctly an Italian Renaissance temple and is the center of focus in the work rather than the marriage itself. In fact, there are people walking around the temple who don't even notice that the marriage is happening. There's a major contrast between Mary and Joseph. Mary is dressed pure and virgin-like, while Joseph is one of two men in the whole piece to have a beard. On Mary's side, there's soft-faced women, while on Joseph's side, there's a group of disappointed suitors. The painting is on a round head panel, which was a trend at the time for religious artwork. The proportionate bodies and precision of the temple are examples of the stress that was placed on the importance of accuracy, detail, and perspective during Raphael's time. The work also portrays Raphael's understanding of perspectival construction. Something that many people don't notice is that Joseph has 6 toes. This could mean one of two things. One, that the Bible mentions that those with 6 fingers and 6 toes were born from a giant, or that the man that Raphael used as a model for Joseph simply had 6 toes, and Raphael was just that dedicated to detail and accuracy. The Sistine Madonna was the last of Raphael's Madonnas. In this work, the Madonna is holding the Christ child. Lower down to the left, Saint Sixtus looks up to her while pointing outward to the congregation. There are 3 main figures, the Virgin, Saint Sixtus, and Saint Barbara Madonna. The piece was positioned using the triangular arrangement to focus on the 3 main subjects. The green drapery helps viewers focus on these main people. Similar to the Marriage of the Virgin, Pope Sixtus has 6 fingers. The Sistine Madonna is painted with the illusion of being on a stage. The stage appears from the plank that the cherubs rest on and the curtain and rod that frame the painting. Raphael's careful balance of color brings our eyes towards the middle where the Virgin and the Child are. He has the subjects floating on clouds as though to make them seem heavenly like the angels beneath them. This famous portrayal of the Virgin and the Child is one of the many Madonnas made during the Renaissance and another example of the ever-appearing theme of religion in Renaissance art. Raphael succeeded in using proper proportions for his subjects and paid close attention to detail when it came to color and placement. Some of Raphael's contributions to society included being a founder of Mannerism, which was another type of European art, inspiring many of his pupils in the 16th century to take his main ideas and coarsen them and bring them in new directions, having his methods carried on by multiple artists in the 16th century, such as preparing paint, learning to draw from a nude model, and studying drapery, to name a few. Also, many of Raphael's methods were used as central disciplines in the art academies that spread throughout Europe, and finally, Raphael was known for the diversity of the work he inspired.